Okay, I'm going to review the water cycle. This is something, a prerequisite that they assume you know. So please pay attention while I tell you the things that you need to understand for the water cycle. Okay, the Earth is covered, I think, 70% in water, and that's the ocean. So the main source of water for the water cycle is oceans. We can also get it from lakes, rivers, puddles, you name it. Wherever water is on Earth, we get it from the water cycle. We also get it from plants through a process called transpiration. Okay, so when a plant undergoes photosynthesis, it lets off water as one of the products. Okay, so that's transpiration. A lot of you guys put that on your notes, but you didn't explain it very well. So the process whereby liquid water changes to vapor, so I'm just going to put L to V, liquid to vapor, is called evaporation. Okay, and you have to know that when water changes from a liquid to a vapor, because of the sun heating it, okay, energy from the sun heats it, okay. Transpiration is providing water vapor into the atmosphere after the process of photosynthesis. So you need to understand that. So we have all this vapor in the air. And the water vapor continues to rise because it's warm, and warm things rise up in the atmosphere. As you get higher into the atmosphere, it gets colder and colder. And when that vapor gets up into that cold atmosphere, it changes back to a liquid, okay? And we call that condensation. You condense the vapor back into a liquid, okay? So condensation. And you need a cooler temperature to condense that warm vapor. And the cooler temperature is provided by the height of the atmosphere, okay? So you're elevated from the surface of the earth and it's cooler up there. Now, in order for clouds to form, you need a tiny particle of dust, and that dust or soot or pollen, any impurity in the air can provide the basis for a cloud. So what happens is these little droplets of water attach themselves to that little piece of dust, and each of the subsequent droplets of water will attach themselves too. So it's almost like, well, the cool guy that started it went to the party, and everybody wants to go to the party now, and eventually you'll get a cloud forming. And then, like all very popular parties, too many people come, and what happens is the cloud bursts and the water comes out. Now, you have water coming down in the form of precipitation. If you have warm air underneath the clouds, you'll have rain. If you have cold air underneath the clouds, you'll have snow. If you have sort of warm and cold air underneath pockets, you will have sleet. And if you have warm, windy air underneath the clouds, you'll have hail. And you guys can look that up on my other video. It's different forms of precipitation. Now that precipitation can go back into the ocean, and this is fresh water here. Even though the ocean is salty, it's only the water that evaporates, not the salt. So we get precipitation in the form of fresh water. That precipitation can also go down into the ground, underneath the ground, and be filtered and go into aquifers. That's preferred. Or that precipitation can land on a parking lot or a freeway or pavement, which is not very good, because then what it does is collect pollution and end up back in the water, and we call that runoff, and that's not a desirable result. So you should be able to understand that evaporation is changing from liquid to vapor. Condensation is vapor back to liquid. And precipitation is liquid water falling to the ground or the Earth's surface. The water cycle is the continuous cycle of water from Earth's surface to the atmosphere and back again. We have a limited amount of water on the planet. We have the same amount of water on the planet as we did when the planet started. Okay, so this is the same water. It just keeps getting cycled back through the atmosphere. And the reason that it can is because our atmosphere makes it a closed system, so it's almost like a bubble around our planet that allows these cycles to take place.